Good evening, dandies. Welcome to Undetermined, the podcast.
They've been harassing me to upgrade my wife's phone so it can have like a new SIM card in it. And it's all conspiracy.
It is. It is.
Well, I don't know. I just wish. I mean, if I was a better capitalist, I'd have a lot more money, and this wouldn't be a problem. But I'm really bad at that business money stuff, and I have no desire to change it. So I just have to suffer.
Right.
But it's all choice.
Right. Yeah. Otherwise, it just becomes, blasé and becomes a moneymaker, and that's not fun. That's not fun.
It's not, I just have no desire for it. I don't know. I mean, I really feel like I'm jealous of the entrepreneurs out there who really they want to go out and hustle and make that money, and I
can't. I've lived with people. Like I had a roommate who was like that, and it was cool. Like every now and then he'd take me to some kind of interesting function, that I would not normally get into. But apart from that, it was just like, fuck these people. Oh my God, they're creepy.
Well, they're pathological. Generally.
Yeah.
To me, because I think once you get really involved in wanting to get money, you sell a lot of yourself in that, and then the pathological aspect is just it's the focus on that. Like that's the goal,
Right.
And it's I don't know. I can't.
Which has nothing to do with art.
Yeah, or life. I mean, it's everybody, to their own. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I get the envy too, as well. I wish I could think like those plastic people sometimes. It's easy. It seems to be easier for them. They seem to be happy, I guess.
I don't know though, but for me, just if I'm stuck in a conversation with one of them, I am itching to get out in no time.
Right.
You know what I think it is? I live in constant misery, and I rarely can find joy in anything. And I view that anybody who can is fucked. I'm fine. I'm fine. Everything's good.
You want to say, you don't know something I don't. That's not true. You're just lying to yourself.
Right. So welcome to the podcast.
Yes.
Well, thanks.
Positive mental attitude. Yes.
Captured by robots. We're excited to have you on, man.
Absolutely. We were just talking about those associations. So apparently you were a Blue Meanie.
Yeah, I started Blue Meanies back in 1989, I think. God, that's a long time ago.
Wow.
Well, yeah, that's been a long time.
In Carbondale, Illinois. I went to school at Southern Illinois University, and
Salukis.
I guess. And it was. I just wanted to. I had been an avid chili pepper fishbone guy back then. Just loved them, and so I kind of wanted to form a band, kind of like that, and through various putting up flyers and talking to people, and harassing other people, kind of got something together, and then it ended up kind of taking over a good part of my life for the next 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, in this part of the country, people knew who you were.
Yeah, absolutely.
We had a good regional shit going on, I mean, it was
a lot of my family's from there, Little Egypt and that area, like Carbondale, Harrisburg, El Dorado, that are just so much. I had the Pigs EP. I mean, I grew up in Northern Illinois, but all my family was down there. So,
right.
I think I got a mixtape of, Blue Meanies, and really dug that. And then we talked to people before too. Tony from Nonagon.
Oh yeah.
Chicago, man. Yeah.
Yeah. We're big Nonagon people. We've had John Hasty on.
I've seen them once or twice. They're decent. Yeah, Tony was a comedic mentor for me. He just, at least when we'd be touring, everything out of his mouth was a joke all the time. Even when he wanted to be serious, it'd be a fucking joke. Eventually I want to strangle him, be like, will you fucking stop? Just stop. Yeah. But he would never stop. And so now I try to temper my shit, but I learned a lot about comedy from him. So thank you, Tony.
Oh, God. Yeah. We had John Hasty from Nagano. Yeah, he's a good friend of ours. And we talked about Blue Meanies for quite a while. And then we found that connection today. And we're like, holy shit, he was a Blue Meanie. Yeah. There's of course, there's a lot of guys in the lineup over the years. With them. But still, great fucking ska band for Illinois, man. Were you born in Illinois or?
Yeah, I was raised in Deerfield.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Well, all over kind of North Shore area, but then eventually most of my era back then was, Deerfield, and raised there, and then went down to Carbondale, and then came back up to Chicago for school at DePaul. And then,
right on.
And then got out of that, and then moved to California.
Go Blue Devils. Yeah, I grew up in Northern Illinois, or over on the Iowa border, Morrison, Illinois, Whiteside County.
Like Davenport.
But that was the city. The Quad Cities were
Quad
the city.
Cities.
Quad Cities.
No, do you know Killdozer?
Oh yeah.
They sang a song about the Quad Cities, about a guy who did. He was a cattle farmer, and he killed off all his cattle before the government could auction them off. Oh, it's a great song. Yeah, I don't remember the name of it, but Killdozer, Madison's finest band ever.
Yes,
I'll have to listen for that.
It was about an hour south of Madison.
Beloit.
Yeah, Beloit.
Yeah, I'm an encyclopedia. I'm like Google Maps of southern Wisconsin.
Right?
Kankakee. Yeah, I got it.
Oh, yeah. I had friends in Kankakee and Fox Lake and, all that area. So what drove you to California?
Well, Blue Meanies, I couldn't keep doing that anymore because it was too difficult to deal with everybody. And we never made any money, really. So all the money went back into the band. And and I just got, it's hard. Once you've been doing something for so long and you're not happy and you're fighting anymore, I was like, time to go. And then quit that shit, and then was living in Chicago or in the Deerfield with my mother, and just that dynamic didn't work out very well so much. So then it's just like, I'm gone, I'm leaving. So just went to California where I had some connections, Bay Area, and it was the best thing I ever did.
Right on.
Nice.
And hated everybody you ever played with, so you made a band out of robots.
Hated, but it's how do you describe it? It's the best way to describe it is like, if you're a painter and you need to bring like 6 other guys to hold the canvas, bring the paint, but they fuck up the colors, and and then one of them's like, I can't do the art this weekend, so you can't do your art this weekend. And I'm going to stop doing this, so I'm going to take the canvas, so you can't do art anymore. Like, I mean, that's it. That is it. Right. I mean, when I came to California, I actually, I was mostly playing jazz, like just being a jobbing jazz player, and that was shitty and horrible. Just because nobody gives a shit about jazz ever. Like even like when I was playing good stuff, it was just like, I don't know, it felt very pathetic of me. So I went to school for it. And, it's like, then I started doing it. I'm like, that's wrong. And around that time, I started playing with Skank and Pickle out here. And that was, because I played with them with Blue Meanies once I replaced their bass player on the road when they kicked him out in the middle of the tour. And so when they were having problems with their bass player out here, which was actually their fault, not the bass player's fault, I replaced him and then toured with them for about a year. And that was the time when I was kind of dabbling in robots. I had a band with Chuck, the drummer, which was called Les Guiches Fantastiques, which was just me on distorted upright bass, and I built this preliminary version of GuitarBot that was it was like a slide guitar. It was just mostly noise, and then Chuck from Skank and Pickle was playing drums. But after a while that got kind of annoying because I had to deal with his schedule, and he counted all the beats out as he played them, which was I love you, Chuck. But so I was like, well, okay, I already have this robot guitarist. I'm going to make a robot drummer. So I did it. And my friends were like, oh, you can't do that. You could change it, make a robot guitar, but you can't go making a robot drummer. And I'm like, fuck you. I'm going to do it. So
why not?
Even if it sucks, it's like, I'm going to do it. So I did it. And it sucked.
It doesn't.
Well, back then it was pretty bad. But,
okay.
But I've been doing this now for 20 fucking 25 years, something like that, 23, 24 years. I mean, since 1997 is when we started playing. So started that shit, and it was it got great response in the beginning. It was very different. I was running on top of pedals to control the drums, and then a keypad to control guitar bot, and like a chest plate with a 3-string bass and a keyboard. I mean, yeah, it was a real mess. But it was fun to do, but then at a certain point I had to switch over to be computer controlled because the physical tolls were killing me. Like I'd have to crane my neck to sing into this like microphone that was attached to the chest plate, and then I would pinch a nerve in my neck, and I'd be in bed for 4 or 5 days with a pinched nerve. And so I was like, I'm either going to switch to computer control or I'm done. And so it took a year off, and had to figure out how to do that, and figured it out. And that was the beginning.
I mean, did you have any engineering chops or anything before that to figure that shit out, or just
nothing?
So you're working like caveman mechanics, just like wheel and pulley and cable and.
Well, that's what it was, yeah. And then but like anything, it's a doctor didn't become a doctor by just like the school didn't really make him a doctor. He searched the knowledge, by reading books and talking to people and learning from people who are smarter than him. And so that's all I did. I just basically just talked to people who were smarter than me and took bits and pieces from what people had to say and combined them into create something that was pretty much mine, and it worked. And it sucked for a long time, and then it's gotten better and keeps getting better and better. And I'm finally like, we're almost not sucking anymore. We're getting real close to not sucking anymore. We're still kind of shitty, but I'm telling you, a year or two, forget it. It's going to be great.
Oh man.
We'll see.
I'm looking forward to it. I think it's fun. I enjoy watching your shit already. So I'm looking forward to.
Very few people have 25-year projects, that's the kind of guy I am. I just keep doing shit with the same stuff and improving, and because I got a lot of patience, I just want to I get obsessed and have to come up with an idea about something has to change, or it all comes from anger. I'll do something and something will piss me off really bad. Like that's got to change. And so whatever it takes, that will change, and I will do it. Whatever it's going to require.
Man, I don't know though. When I listen, like if I listen to Captured by Robots on like a streaming device or anything else like that, I mean, you guys, it sounds like a legit grindcore band.
Well, I mean, it
doesn't sound gimmicky.
It doesn't sound like robots, no.
Right, no, not at all.
If you listen to it closely, you can hear, that's the thing. It's like, that's the uncanny valley of it. You can hear, there's certain little things, that I tend to do, which, especially back with older recordings where I would repeat sections a little bit too much sometimes. And so you could hear maybe the same fill come in, which if you're really paying attention, you'll notice it's exactly the same. And it's like, what the hell? And it's something like I shouldn't have done, but it's sometimes when things are easier, I'll just be like, it's okay.
Yeah. Well, that was something I wondered, like, do you ever have to put in like little imperfections just to make it seem...
There's all sorts of things that I do to fuck with people and fuck with the music to make it different. I don't do it enough. And that's one of the things I beat myself up about is to try to make things feel... I don't know. I like stuff to feel very human, but then there's also times when the robotic qualities are really nice to bring out because people often can't do some things that the robots can do. So it's But I mostly think of the band as like the Scarecrow or like Scarecrow or like Data from Next Generation. Like trying to get more human as much as I can, while at the same time humanity is trying to move themselves more to be like robots with perfection and all these things, which are destroying humanity, I think, with unrealistic expectations, with looks and with music. I mean, with auto-tune, all these things, it's the imperfections that make us who we are. And so I can't even listen to a lot of music these days because it just makes me fucking sick.
I hear you.
Like I hear people screaming in the music with no thought or emotion behind it, or no, I don't know, like it makes me nuts. I hear like these perfect audio tracks where it's just, that's wrong, man. It's like, but I'm old and nobody cares what I think,
I know this isn't quite the same, but like even today, like we did some family stuff today, and it's going to be that we're heading into fall and we went to like a sunflower festival because this is, fucking Kansas and Missouri, just to do some family stuff. And they've got this venue just has the country music playing in the background. And I was about to lose my fucking mind listening to the song. Like, it was like so over the top cliche every song.
Oh yeah. Yeah. They've hit a new, I don't know what they've done with production with modern country is just, I can't even, it's beyond me.
Like I had to deliberately do things to tune it out. It was just maddening to me to hear it.
Well, Missouri is a special kind of place. I mean, no offense.
It sure is.
Oh, it is.
Missourians, but yeah. Show me how fucked up you are. That's
we
the show.
used to be a little more in the middle than we've been lately.
I know. Yeah, it's gone hard right.
Yeah.
And we're not thrilled about that in the little Blue Islands.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It's become a corridor because I like live in Columbia and he lives in Kansas City, and it's like St. Louis, Kansas City, Columbia. Just 3 blue dots if you look at an electoral map. Oh, yeah. And the rest of it is just a sea of red around us.
Well, that's how it goes.
Yeah. Well, Illinois is, all the same, but
you know what? Though I'm still impressed. Kansas had it in it in this last special election where they were just like, no.
Dude, I don't think anybody wants abortion to be illegal. I'm sorry, like all these crazy Christians. Sorry if you're a crazy Christian, but to the audience, but it's like
we don't have any of those.
Nobody. Like, if you ask someone about that, if they're kind of on that MAGA hit shit, they'll be like, oh yeah, I'm really glad that they did that they got made abortion illegal and stuff. And then the next thing you ask them is what do you think the government should be able to tell you what to do? And they're like, hell no.
Right.
But no. How is there this dichotomy? It just makes me nuts. So I really think that if every state, I think there should be a rule that with this ruling, every state should have they should have to vote on it. But the legislatures are going to stop the people from voting because, unfortunately, every state is going to go the way of Kansas. I think every single one, because everyone, not every woman, but most women are going to vote for it, and youngsters and stuff like that. So, I don't know.
And that's the way the system is set up in Missouri too. Is like the only way to change the law is, you can get things on the ballot and you can vote things on the ballot. So anybody who opposes anything that's common fucking sense, they just basically make sure that it doesn't make it to the ballot by like disregarding signatures and saying that like, oh, that wasn't legitimate or this campaign to get it on the ballot, because they know damn well that if it gets in front of the people are going to vote it down.
Yeah, and that's and the question these days is going to be, at what point will it start to affect statewide elections? You know what I mean? Where if somebody says, I'm not willing to listen to what the people say, will the people kick that person out? And
I think we're getting pretty close to that point. Yeah.
But something had to change. Republicans are going to keep supermajority in a lot of these states forever. Nothing stays the same.
They've gerrymandered so terribly.
Yeah. And eventually they're going to make gerrymandering illegal. It's just a matter of time at this point because everybody knows about it. Everybody knows how fucking stupid it is. So it's going to happen. It's just a matter of, how long until
we can get a new
you could actually
voice in the Supreme Court.
It's not even Supreme Court. because if we could just get House and Senate without, without these fake motherfucking people who just want to block everything, it's like, the worrying about the federalizing of the elections. I don't know. Anyways, we're in for some big changes, along with, the apocalypse that's coming too. It's going to be gorgeous to see what happens in the U.S. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Fucking U.S. exceptionalism.
You're going to stay in Canada?
No, I'll be back. No, I want to watch this shit fail because I've been hating the way the U.S. has been going for a long time.
Oh, yeah. We bitch about it a lot.
And it is weird too how just like in talking about that and what happened in Kansas, how we're in this kind of transitionary or interim thing. It's like it's 2022. How are we in the middle of things just now changing or things
because 40 or 50 years of activism trying to get what they got on the Supreme Court. That's
right.
How, you know, and disinformation running rampant every night. I saw that Tucker Carlson dude. I saw him. He's going to get people killed, man. He's talking about how the FBI, this and that and this. And it's like, man, you can't fight the FBI. What the fuck are you thinking,
right,
you idiot? Like,
well,
good luck with that, man.
Yeah, and I mean, it was like even with the Mar-a-Lago raid and reading from Trump's legal team, one thing that I haven't seen anybody catch on to this yet, but a lot of his legal team was like, well, you know, we're finding a lot of people are really mad, really angry. Just let us know what we can do, you know, to make sure that they're not so upset. It's like, what a veiled threat.
Oh,
another fucking insurrection.
Right.
I just keep thinking I'm leaving on tour pretty soon, and I keep thinking like I just want him to get indicted after the election. Don't do it before, because I don't need this bullshit while I'm traveling. You know, it's like just wait till November. You know, that's all I ask.
Right,
Merrick, please.
He's showing more balls than I thought he had, and
he's been doing. I mean, we follow that shit deep in this house, and he's been doing it. It's just you know, what's that called? Speak
methodical.
No evil, you know, methodical. Don't say shit till you got shit to say. And everybody else was thinking, oh, he's lame. He's not doing this and that and this. But man, I mean, I think we're going to be finding out in the next couple months everything that's been happening. I mean, sealed indictments probably have either already happened or are on their way to happening. I mean, and if this stuff which they're talking about is actually comes true, where they were talking about these, you know, literal espionage and outing of sources, I mean, that's straight up treason.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is.
Wow. I mean, that's they do not fuck with that shit. You know,
no, they don't.
I'm so surprised that this stuff all happened. Like, I was thinking it was going to be a January 6th thing, or it was going to be something else, you know, like I'll name any of the other fucking bullshit he's done. But to see it be something new, that's just so bad.
Right.
It boggles the mind. It's like, I want to be done with the fucking Trump show in my life. I'm so tired of hearing his name and seeing his fucking stupid face. And Truth Social is going to go under real soon because of all their stupid no money anymore. It's I just want to see that whole family fail. I want to see the Trump Tower burn to the ground.
I want to see like him in an orange jumpsuit and the spray tan fading. It's going to be like this reverse image.
Yeah.
We're just in unprecedented times right now, and it's so strange to see because, you know, as a white person who's lived in the United States all his life, you know, generally it's been a pretty privileged situation. You know what I mean? It's
absolutely.
And I think that's where a lot of the backlash is happening now with right wing. It's like now that people are actually starting to recognize all the systemic racism and all these things that have been happening because they're able to see it firsthand on their phones from, you know, people of color's perspective. Right. That's changing, you know. It's like so you have to be a real hardened dickhead to not recognize any of that, you know. So we're really in some amazing times.
We really are.
It's awful, but had to happen, man. And I'm glad that I'm around for it. So
yeah, me too. And I, you know, just the things that we've seen change in our lives.
Yeah,
you know, I think we're all roughly in the same age group, Gen X. Types, and man. I never saw growing up. I never saw gay couples walking around holding hands. I definitely didn't see trans. Right. I didn't see.
I mean, they were there, but
Right. I didn't see like
interracial
couples. Right. And when you did see an interracial couple, it was like, whoa. And you couldn't help but stare because it was kind of weird to see it. Now that shit's everywhere and I fucking love it.
Right. It's interesting because it really is technology which has brought us here. That's, you know, society moving in directions is one thing, but, you know, getting these images into normie households, that's what has changed. You know, it's like, because you can see them on the street and that's one thing, but to actually, you know, if you're a shut in and you kind of just watch your phone all the time and stuff like that, you can't get away from that now. And it's, and I think that's what a lot of these people are railing against. And
I work with that person. They're nice.
Right.
Exactly. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I just figure whatever you want to do, as long as you're not hurting anybody, like, go for it.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. Whatever.
And fetuses are not included in that. Hurt the fetuses. I don't give a fuck.
No. Nope. Well, how is that affecting to your stage show or in how you're presenting your music? Because over that amount of time, you've had to have gone through like adamancy or, just sort of blasé attitude or to like in extreme anger and just going like in a pendulum back and forth. But how is that affecting like what's coming up with the tour now?
Well, I don't think I wasn't as much of a raging, leftist.
Yeah.
Until I got that phone brain going, but and just and seeing what happens, the scene for what I do is overwhelmingly leftist. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's really not much room for right wing ideas in it because fuck that shit.
Right.
They basically actively are against Jews and actively against blacks and it's just gays, trans. I mean, you name it. It's like they are immigrants, everybody. So I have no time for that, and no patience for it. So, yeah, this tour we're it's the funeral for the human race tour, and so we've got a corpse and a coffin, and that's supposed to. His name is Humanity, and
nice.
And he has a fetus inside of him, but we'll just leave it at that. It's a fun time. We have good times,
So light, good for the family.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, the way I figure it is if you're doing art, you have to do it, and do something that's going to be, I don't know, like so many bands that I see are just so boring. They just do the same shit and they're never, so many bands aren't willing to take a stand about anything because they're worried about their sponsorships or their this or their that. And
right.
I will never understand that. It's like as a band, you have the special place where you could influence people. And I mean, if you're just into the music and nothing else, I mean, that's cool. Like that's fine. But for me, I don't know. I just, whether and I'm probably preaching to the choir, like 99% of the time, but it feels nice to say stuff, like when Trump got into office. I mean, that's like one of my first tours after I kind of quit the band and then came back, and it just felt great to be like, what the fuck is going on? Like, fuck this fucking country, fuck this
right.
This band is like the only form of, what would be the word, like mental freedom and like just getting a cathartic kind of like get rid of all my bullshit in one setting, and it's great.
It's kind of what the podcast is for us in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
It's just an opportunity. We love to bitch about shit, but we also like to laugh while we're doing it.
Well,
right. Yeah.
Being angry is great, but you got to laugh at it sometimes because it's so ridiculous. But yeah, it's very fulfilling. I mean, this COVID time, the lockdown really fucked me up real bad. I mean, it's my house that I love and my rabbits and everything here. It's like it basically became like a fantastic jail.
Yeah.
And so it's been very difficult to kind of deal with that, because I don't really, at this point, like if I caught COVID while I'm here, it's no big deal. But like I wear a mask at all my shows now, like an N95 when I play, because I don't want to catch COVID, and nobody else does this. And I have vaccines and stuff, but if I do catch COVID, I'm going to have to cancel shows.
Right.
And so with other bands like Guar or, all these other bands, I mean, if somebody catches COVID, they could, there's still a bunch of guys in the band who could, cover,
right.
Right. But with me, it's like that shit is over until I'm better. And so I'm taking like a minimum precaution to try to do it because I just want to be able to do this again, be as healthy as I can and run with that shit and just make it happen.
Yeah. Yeah. We've had friends in bands that have just right out told their fans, hey man, we'd love to really hang out after the show, but we want to get through our tour, right? So we're gonna I can't do a hug, I'd love to do a hug, we'll do a fist bump though.
See, I do the hugs and everything still. I mean, but that was before monkeypox, but I'm still, I mean, I don't know, monkeypox is monkeypox is going to get everybody, by the way. I really think. I think it's, for all the stuff that people talking about the gay community, it's like, man, I've seen it in women and babies. It's like, it's coming for everybody eventually. So we'll eventually have vaccines for it. But as far as COVID goes, though, I did a West Coast thing a little bit ago and did the mask all the time. And I was actively hugging on friends who tested positive the next day.
Oh, wow.
And I never caught it. And it's because I'm wearing professional N95. That's like there's really nice ones that you can actually use that you can still talk really well through and breathe really well through. So, and actually have a microphone inside the mask.
Nice.
So that I can sing, and I have a dummy mic that I hold, so I can still get the same physical feeling from when I'm doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And I'm sure the people will be like, "Well, what are you scared of?" It's like, no, I'm just trying to not get other people sick and keep doing the tour, because I don't want clubs to lose money because I have to sit on my ass. It's like
right.
Not come and play because I caught some stupid virus, but
and that's
it's everywhere still, It's like you can't get away from it.
And that's always been the thing, is it's not just even you just catching it. It's you giving it to somebody who can probably even tolerate it too, but they take it home to granny.
Yeah.
They take it home to somebody's baby shower, and Jesus Christ, just, that makes you sick to think about that you would be part of that chain at all.
Yeah.
And you don't want to do that.
My job, and I won't tell them on the podcast, but there's some fucked up shit. I work at a crisis line, like suicide prevention, that shit. Fuck, man, it's gotten better with that stuff.
You mean disease stuff?
Right. It's gotten a little better with the COVID stuff, but I've had some fucked up calls, man.
So you think, what do you guys think as far as dystopia is concerned? What's going to be the thing? Is it going to be disease? Is it going to be a meteor? Is it going to be?
It's going to be. It's going to be a combination of everything. I mean,
that's kind of what
it's going to be fire. We're already in the flood stage now.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be drought. It's going to be heat. It's going to be lack of water, from the less snow, and so I mean, the less snow is really what's going to kill us.
That's one that's really highly underrated. Is the water crisis in America? It really is.
Oh yeah. That's probably the biggest one.
Granted, for so long.
Yeah.
And then we're poisoning the water we do have with these, forever chemicals. I mean, even if they're not really stopping them necessarily. It's like there's all this poisoned water, and then it's the idea that we're just going to skate through this. It's interesting because people seem to want to have like what you said, is it going to be a meteor? Is it going to be this? Is it going to be that? It's going to be this crushing accelerationism that's just going to keep going until things get really bad, and it's like turning the volume up on a stereo,
Right. Yeah.
And you can't get away from it, and that's when it's going to be just awful and beautiful, and it's going to wipe this fucking humanity off this planet, and I can't wait.
Down. Yeah. Well, it's like good friend of the show, Nathan Calhoun, and his band in Austin. We love that band. We Are the Asteroid.
Oh yeah.
It's a great band name, and it sums it up. It's like, we always want to look at the other. We want to look at the outside thing that's coming for us. And it's like, no, it's pretty much us. We're going to be our own undoing.
Yeah. That's with the stuff that I've been kind of pursuing with the band. That's been the main message I'm trying to put out there. Is just, and nobody, I don't know if nobody wants to hear it, but they generally don't. Because when they go to a show, they want to go, woo, and party and drink and stuff like that. But that's why we did the funeral for the Human Race Tour. Because it's like, I figure at the rate that we're going right now, things are going to start accelerating really fast pretty soon. And so I really wanted to get this tour in before I can't do it anymore because we, strife or no more gas or whatever it's going to be,
Right.
I worry, as John and I both have kids, Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Right. I'm worried what's happening for them because I'm I'm middle-aged. If I go in 20 years, if I made it to my 70s, that's great. But
what your jobs are going to be for if you have kids is to teach them how to survive in a hellscape. That's your job.
Yeah.
Teach them how to dig underground houses. Teach them how to get water, how to purify water. That's going to be the kind of shit which is going to save people's lives and be able to survive in a dystopian hellscape.
Yeah.
And that's where they're going to be by the time they're your age.
Right.
And I mean, holy shit. I mean, unless they come up with some amazing technology, but I mean, I don't see, I mean, who knows? AI might be able to really get us out of this at some point, but
or if you want to just kill us all and say,
right, we found the problem. Yeah.
The problem is you.
But it's kind of interesting, though, the funeral for the human race, you know, as a kind of theme, just the fact that funerals are also kind of celebrations of life, you know, so.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do with this. I mean, you know, at least have some fun with it, you know, and make jokes and there's response. I mean, we did this tour going up the West Coast and it was really great. People just like the bars were just selling so much liquor and just people are just, you know, because the way I feel it is that I can't name one other band that I know that is doing anything like this or any kind of art really that's like a live performance thing that's actively talking about this world we're in right now. It just seems like everybody is in this place of avoidance right now because COVID hit people really hard, fucked up their mental health, their finances, all this stuff. And we're in such a huge time of change. At the same time, this acceleration is happening. So it's nice to be able to just get drunk and laugh about it because that's all we have to do because nobody can really change us. Your recycle bin is not going to save you.
Right.
And,
you know?
Yeah. It's kind of sad. Like there's only so many I told you so's that you can get out and it still feels good.
It's
just like nonstop I told you so right now. Yeah. That's how I feel. Like fuckers, I've been telling you this shit for years. Here we are.
Yeah.
Humans are just amazing at avoidance. Just if we can avoid it, and especially in a capitalist society, it's if the money keeps flowing in, you know, we'll just view it. We'll frame it as political, and we'll push it off.
Right.
And we'll keep our propagandists working on it to keep compartmentalizing it and manipulate the dummies so that they really view it from a different lens. And we'll be dead by the time this shit really fucks these people up. So make that money. And that's the pathological quality that I see in the world today. And that's the shit that I despise. And it's because all these people are basically accelerating us into just destroying humanity, basically.
Right. Sure. And profiting on that destruction. Trump wanted to buy fucking Greenland. He was like, can we get Greenland? Because it's going to be nice real soon.
I heard a story if the polar ice caps melt, that we're talking about the water's going to be up to the elbow of the Statue of Liberty. And man, that I can't even fathom that. I mean, could you? I mean, it's like Waterworld would be here, and I'm going to build a great fucking boat. Tell you what, it's going to be awesome. You know,
and we don't have any damn dirty apes to shake our fists at like Charlton Heston or anything. It's shaking them ourselves. But I'm also guilty of that shit. I mean, it just weighs on me so heavy. I'll still put on like "Shake Your Ass" by like NERD, because I want to hear that every once in a while. I do want a distraction.
I mean, you can't just focus on doom and gloom all the time. Because otherwise, I mean, you kill yourself. It's like, I mean, I don't really think that's an answer for everybody. For some people, I do think it's an answer. I can't judge them for doing it. I had a very big fan of mine, kill himself. And I know he didn't kill himself because of what I do. He killed himself because he felt the need to do it, and he was drawn to us because we had that same kind of a message. And, I mean, I hope I never convince anybody to do anything rash like that, but if they do, it's not for me to say. I mean, I think I've been suicidal. I mean, it's more passively suicidal. I mean, and it was actually earlier in the year, and it fucking sucked. And it was mostly based out of loneliness, because just through trying to be safe through COVID, I didn't really, I've always been kind of a shut-in, but there was always that show I could go to just kind of like get my humanity back, and then come back home, and it's good. But, in this last couple of years, it's just been, it's been getting worse and worse. And then a couple months ago, it just hit fever pitch. I mean, the only thing which really kind of got me out of it was doing this tour.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
I mean, I think this tour, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. And I mean, who knows? I know that I need to suffer a little bit on the road to make me appreciate life and make me appreciate coming home. You know, it's like, it's amazing when you're stuck in the same situation forever and you just feel like there's no way out. And it's not a bad situation, but it's just, there's something about I don't know, when you live in a small world and then you make the world even smaller and smaller, at some point it really becomes so oppressive that you don't know what else to do. You know?
Yeah. And that's always interesting to me. And we talked to a lot of artists about that. It's like, you know, are you the kind of person who has to get in that headspace of, you know, being gloomy to make gloomy music? I remember talking to like Crescent Spires from Harvey Milk. He was like, no, he's like, I need to be satiated. He's like, I need to be happy. I need to be in a good mood to make dark music. He's like, otherwise I wouldn't give a shit about doing any of it.
That's, you know, I was trying to write during that period, and man, it sucked. And only recently, once my mood changed, I was actually able to write some much better stuff. Because you don't get it's very true. You know, I never thought about that, but it really is true. Your writing sucks shit when you're not.
And I think, I think a lot of the shit that's happened recently, I think it's affected all of us in ways that most of us haven't even considered.
Oh no,
yet. You know,
trauma is real.
Yeah. Like for example, like John, last week we were talking about me realizing I'm suddenly claustrophobic. I was never claustrophobic before.
Yeah.
Right. And I tried to I told this story. I tried to just kind of go through a health check MRI not too long ago, and I flipped the fuck out when they got me into the machine.
Yeah.
And I started thinking about it like this last week, and I was like, maybe it's because you've been stuck in your fucking house for 2 years.
Right. Yeah. And if you know Matt like I do and have known him for like 25 years, so that was concerning to me. I was like, really? You know,
sure.
Because nothing fucking bothers him. It seems like, well, I mean, I know he's a deep thinker, but you know, it was like he can handle a lot.
Right. I don't shake too easily.
No.
I think the isolation is a really, we really got a taste of what real isolation feels like. And a lot of it is choice, you know, because through this whole thing, we've been told, you know, don't get COVID. And, you know, I mean, I still haven't got it because I've been very careful. But I know people who have gotten it multiple times because they're not willing to submit to this seclusion, or they're not able to submit to the seclusion and able to keep themselves safe from this disease. And you know, in some ways I'm jealous because they're able to they're still running their life, albeit a little maybe different than before, but it's much more normal than mine. And so then one asks, well, is this going to be forever?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like, I think it's going to be like a 10-year thing where, you know, at some point it's going to evolve to be not bad anymore.
Right.
But who's to say we're not going to get another one coming in? So, so that's the other thing with this trip that I want to try to get is a more freeing kind of thing, you know, like to be out there. I mean, when you're a shut-in like me and you haven't toured in a long time, and you know, in the past I used to tour, you know, once or twice a year with various bands, and that's the process of staying sane for me. And then I'd come home and I wouldn't really be interested in going out because I'm out all the time, you know?
Yeah.
But once you're stuck at home for 2.5 years, that's when
So
I'm hoping that there's some light at the end of the tunnel with going back out. That's the hope.
And then when you go back out, all you have to talk to are these machines that you've programmed.
No, I have all my tour friends.
There you go.
I have friends all over the country that I love. That was the thing that was cut off from me more than anything. It was these clubs that I love, and my friends that I just love, that I see and I stay with in these towns. Losing that connection was very difficult. You know, I don't know. I think at this point now we're kind of all responsible for solving our own trauma or figuring out a way to get rid of it or whatever in this new reality, because it was all new in 2020, but now we've had some time, and you know, now it's like COVID probably won't kill you if your, immune system is okay,
Right.
For the people whose immune systems aren't okay, they're fucked. And there's nothing I can do to save them except to wear a mask and try not to transfer it to anybody and just be the best person I can. But, who am I compared to the millions of people who don't wear masks? When I play these shows wearing a mask, there's like maybe 2 or 3 people in the crowd wearing a mask out of like 100 or 200 or 300 people. There's like so few people wearing masks. And I'm like, I mean, what am I going to do? I can't change what these people are going to do. They want to go back to normalcy, whatever that means. Yeah. So it's, I wouldn't tour if I couldn't wear a mask when I was playing right now. No way.
Well, good on you. At least you're protecting others.
You just got to do what you got to do. And that's like, I can't wait. What I'm dying for, and I can't wait to experience it, is when I'm in a fucking gas station in bumfuck wherever, and some asshole fucking dick face comes up to me. It's like, you don't need to wear a mask. I'm just going to be like, oh, just.
John had a good response.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Oh, there's a million. I mean, what do you got?
It was so often. And usually I'm the kind of guy who's just like, oh, yeah, whatever. And then I get back in my car. I'm like, fuck, I should have said this. It was in Missouri, of course, rural Missouri, wearing a mask, went into a gas station, came back out in this, MAGA hat wearing, and he's all in camouflage, head to toe.
How'd you even see him?
Exactly. Luckily, you're standing against like a bright red gas tank, but he looked at me and said, you know what? That mask makes you look like a sheep. So you know what? That outfit makes you look like a duck blind with a little dick.
That's not bad.
It wasn't
very
bad.
Situational though. You can't use
that. Yeah, you gotta.
It was very situational. You can't use that one anywhere else. It had to be with him. But boy, he looked pissed. But then he realized I was just as pissed.
You got to give the eyes, man, rage eyes back at these people, and
crazy eyes. Yeah,
I'm just going to tell him I have COVID and walk over to him.
Give me a hug.
Shake my hand. Or the best thing is say you got monkeypox, because they will run.
Yeah.
Because they've seen what that looks like, and then everybody's going to think they're a gay.
Right. Yeah.
I say in the best way possible.
Right.
Oh, that was how I used to get out of fights in like Missouri.
Yeah.
Was like, I'd let them think I was gay, and like, but what I used was, you don't know what's going to happen if I fight you. And I acted like I was just like, let's fucking go, motherfucker. And there's nothing worse than getting your ass kicked by the gay guy.
Right.
And I knew that. So they'd be like, oh, wait a second here. I'm just joking, man.
It's the overly masculine, dudes out there. Or, I mean, not masculine, but, playing their role as being these overly masculine dudes who dream of sucking a dick.
Oh, absolutely.
The time. And you could just see it because they're playing a character, I mean, it's like you could just cookie cut their character out of anything. And it's fun to call them on it because, man, the rage that they get when they're like, all of a sudden, you're basically bringing up the Pornhub trans search for them. It's like
it's coming to the front of their mind. Yeah,
it's just.
I saw a great T-shirt the other day too that popped up on one of my social media feeds. It says, "Don't bully me, I'll come."
That's not bad. That's a good. I would wear that T-shirt.
I would too. I'm like, wow, I never knew that was an option to tell people.
That's not bad.
That's genius. So when are you going to hit the road?
6th is the first show in Palmdale. Never been to Palmdale. I guess it's a suburb north of LA, like. Not suburb really, but it's like a separate city. But yeah, I've never been there before, but they offered us a show before our LA show. So I was like, well, okay.
Nice.
All right, on.
So you were mentioning you had some DrumBot improvements that you were looking forward to.
I mean, everybody's got improvements, but I've been battling GuitarBot's pick lately. I've been having some really stupid, weird issues with it. Like when I've been rehearsing lately, I had to remake part of it because something stripped out, and then something else happened, and then the new part that I made wasn't quite centered, or there wasn't enough slop in the linkage. So when something shifted, and I was accidentally, when I run shows, basically our PSI always drops because you can't maintain like 100 PSI with my band because once everything starts rolling, the compressor can only give you X amount of CFM at X PSI. So we tend to drop down to, once a show or song starts, 60 PSI, 70, 50, anywhere around there, But I was doing all these tests and these videos with the compression or at like 100 or 110 PSI or something like that. And it was just thrashing the pick device because DrumBot wasn't playing during some of the rehearsals. So there was no sag on the compression. So I was like breaking off air cylinders, like the threaded part just snapping off. And I've never seen that happen in the entire time I've been playing. So, I'm having to go back and figure out what the fuck is going on. And so finally I think I got it. And I bought a bunch of extra air cylinders like that,
Yeah.
So. And when I'm on the road, the good thing is that Granger has these same ones that I use, so I could swap them out if I have to. And Granger's everywhere. So
yeah, I never thought about that. Like you can't have like a compressor just running and regulating.
Well, you can control pressure, but it's all about, you have to select what you're going to be. Each robot kind of requires different PSI. So one DrumBot doesn't really care generally. I could run PSI really low on DrumBot and still get pretty good sounds. GuitarBot has to be at a very specific PSI because I'm using very small valves that they're like these weird air pilot solenoid valves where the solenoid only runs on like 20 milliamps or something like that. But then it opens a pilot air valve, which then opens the valve. So, but it's like spaghetti tubing. So you always have to run more pressure out of tiny tubing just to get the same amount of kind of air through it, to do the job. But a lot of that stuff is, the pressure that is used to push an air cylinder or a mechanism down, that mechanism has to come back up. Right. So one of the things that I have to do a lot is to figure out a way to do the kind of alligator model, where
it springs.
It has to open up and come back up, but you want the least amount of pressure or spring tension to be able to do that, because then when it pushes down, it has to go against whatever pressure is pulling up against it. So you have to balance that, and the more pressure it's lifting up with, you're going to need way more pressure to counteract that. So there's this really difficult balance you have to do, where sometimes for springs I'll use elastic just because it's like so weak,
right?
You don't need strength. Alligator mouth, you could keep it closed with one hand, so there's a lot of things that nobody thinks about with what I'm doing. That's the art of it, is to balance everything and then deal with problems and duplicate things in case something fails during a show,
right.
Parts, or I carry an extra compressor. I've had times when I've had to literally just tell the crowd, I'll be right back, and run to my van and get the second compressor and bring it in. I mean, I think when people see me do that, they're like, that guy's fucking hardcore.
Right. Well, seriously, no, that makes sense though. Yeah. Well, you've got stuff that you can't just run out to the hardware store and buy another robot.
Yeah.
You can't. We talked to that one guy.
Oh yeah,
about kind of similar issues, right? He's got a very unique setup.
Right.
Yeah,
something goes wrong, that's really bad.
Yeah.
Or Jordan.
I wish I had a small setup like he has. Oh my god.
Oh yeah. Or Jordan, Reptoid. I don't know if you're familiar.
Oh yeah.
With him,
he's got a little more. He's with all the drums and everything.
Yeah, he's on the triggers and shit. But
I think I've got the biggest one-man band in the U.S. that I could think of.
Much more involved.
Or maybe in the world. I don't know anybody else who has more gear that travels with a one-man show than me.
I can't think of anybody who's got much of an elaborate setup.
It's horrible. I mean, I just, it's so much stuff. And sometimes it gets really daunting.
And I can imagine, like, it'd be really hard to train a crew to set it up the right way.
It's not that hard to train people to do that. It's having to deal with people in the van that I can't handle. I mean,
and that kind of defeats the purpose, I guess, is what I was.
Well, yeah. I mean, and that's, I had multiple roadies for years, and it wasn't really a problem, but I kind of dealt with it, But then my last roadie kind of stole from me and stole from my friend's medicine cabinets, and that really cut me the wrong way. And so after he left, I never got another roadie. And now that I've been on my own with it for so long, I don't know if I ever could again. Actually, I have another robot band called Teddy Bear Orchestra. That's a bunch of teddy bears and I'm the evil fascist conductor, so hates bears. It's great dichotomy, but it's a lot of stuff, and it's going to be massive. And it's just a matter of, once I could finally tour with it, what's fucked is that I was supposed to tour in 2021 spring with Teddy's. And I was gearing up for it, and then COVID, and then nope.
Yeah.
You know, so it was a real drag to have to like cancel this thing that I've been really wanting to do, you know. And merch is going to be great for that. But I was thinking, how the hell am I going to sell merch when I'm moving all this stuff around? But the other day I did like a Facebook post where I'm like telling people, hey, I want to find somebody like an assistant who I could, you know, train to do this. And through the assistance, you'll learn how to do what I do, and you could go do your own thing with all the knowledge you've gained. And then I deleted that post about 30 seconds after I did it. I realized that I'm going to have to live in a van with these people, and they're probably not going to be very careful about COVID. And then I'm going to have to be in the van sleeping with them and breathing their COVID air and the BO, and they're going to have to see me peeing in bottles and smell me and my disgustingness and dirty clothes, and I was like, no way, what are you thinking? So that's my world.
So if people wanted to get some merch, where's a good place to go?
Where's a good place to go?
A show?
Merch, to get your merch, get your t-shirts, get your
a show.
A show is where you go.
I don't sell stuff online.
Oh, you don't?
And I hate going to the post office.
Yeah.
Remember when I said I'm a bad capitalist? That is not like some sort of a line. Like that is me. Like if I don't like going to the post office, I'm not going to go. So if somebody buys something, then I'm going to have their money, and I'm going to be like, I don't want to go to the post office. I don't want to like have to get a package and get the thing and put in the thing and then tape it up. Fuck that.
Yeah.
I don't want that. That's not my life.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm not successful. Like, because I'm not set up to be, because I'm a problem. You know, it's like, so I never wanted to think of myself necessarily for a while there as an artist, but I'm problematic, and I don't deal with people well. And then I'm poor and I hate it, but I don't want to do the things to sell my fucking soul to make the money. So I'm stuck in this hell. And that's my life. And so it's
we appreciate you.
It's real hard to be me.
we appreciate you, though. I mean,
thank
you. I'm glad you do.
Even the Bandcamp, you know, and your records. I mean, like I say, just listening to music, even if you didn't know that it was this elaborate stage show that was so incredible, the music is good.
And I hate my music. Too.
Really?
I'm like, I hate it. Like it sucks. What the hell does anybody want to like that shit? What's wrong with these people?
I don't know. I own crazy shit.
But eventually I'm going to do something which is going to be really good. And that's, maybe in the next couple of years, we'll see. And Teddy's are going to be my, Capture by Robots is tonal, which, I like playing with tonality and stuff like that. It's, even though there's a lot of screaming, there was a bunch of tonality in there. With the next thing that I do with Teddy's, I'm pretty good at like operatic style singing. And during COVID, I really spent a lot of time in the shower just belting out like arias and stuff. And so I'm very excited to bring that to Teddy's. And basically the goal is going to be to make people cry with my songs. Like that's the main goal. And if I could do that, I'll put that shit out, because I mean, if you could really affect somebody emotionally like that, that's what I want. And so
come back and talk to us when that happens.
Yeah,
well, tour is going to be next spring, as long as there's not another lockdown. So
we'll keep our fingers
crossed. Which there will
crossed.
be, and it's going to be monkeypox lockdown. But
well,
no, probably not, since it's not generally that fatal. They'll just let everybody get,
just a lot of scars. Yeah.
Oh man, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be so amazing, because I've been thinking about this a lot and talking with people, and the question is that, okay, you have this anti-vax contingent in the US, with COVID. Okay. Right. COVID, it's this unseen, unknown thing. You could have it and be asymptomatic, no big deal. You could have it and then you just go to the hospital, then you hear, oh, wow, that guy, you hear about Dave? He's on a vent now. It's like, oh, shit,
Yeah.
But what they don't bring into their brains about is, let's say they're going to have a vaccine out for this at some point pretty soon, I bet, within maybe 6 months or whatever. Yeah. This is like the first thing that's actually going to affect America's fucking vanity.
Yeah.
And I cannot wait, because all these people who are so focused on the way they look,
right,
and the way they display themselves, to be covered in scars is going to be beautiful.
Right.
That's interesting.
Well, it's the same,
and I'm wondering if the same people who are so worried about their vanity are and anti-vax are going to get the vax to save their
face.
And that's going to be what I want to see. Like what happens.
Well, and that happens with disability a lot. It's like you're not disabled unless you're in a wheelchair, or unless I can see, like when somebody pulls up to a handicap parking spot and you're like, well, they're not in a wheelchair. It's like, that doesn't mean they don't have Lyme's disease or some other thing. You can't, visualize. But then it's like, oh, well, it's okay because he's in a wheelchair. It's like, somebody be suffering more than even somebody in a wheelchair in some instances, depending on the disability. But that is interesting. I wonder how much that's going to affect.
And the best part about this is that once it gets predominantly into the hetero community, the big, tough, fake, masculine beta wannabe alpha dudes are going to get it, and then they're going to get played out as being like, they're going to all of a sudden get this like horrible, oh my God, this is a gay disease. Now I have this disease.
Right. Oh my God, I got my right ear pierced.
It's going to be, oh my God, I can't wait to see that shift. It's like, I just want all injustices to be over, and I want everybody who's been full of shit to have to eat every fucking corn out of that shit.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I agree.
When they hurt people actively and they ruin people's lives because of the bullshit they spew, it's like, fuck you.
Yep, should come back around, bite him in the ass. Absolutely should.
Yeah.
I hate to be that guy. I promised I would actually do an extra shift tonight, and I'm about 5 or 6 minutes away from it. So.
Goodbye.
Well, fortunately, I have to go upstairs. That's about as far as I have to go to start it.
Right.
Pandemic, I get to work from home.
Yay!
Work forever.
Thanks for joining us, man.
No problem.
We had a blast.
It was fun chat.
Yeah. Please, seriously, anytime you want to come back, we've got mutual acquaintances. Maybe we'll throw some of them in there.
Yeah,
hey, whatever.
Get a panel going.
Great luck on the tour. We're so appreciative of you joining us.
Thanks.
Good luck.
Tell me to break a leg, though.
Oh, absolutely, break a leg.
Thank you.
Break many legs. Break everyone's legs.
Very good. Okay, guys. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. You've been listening to Undetermined the Podcast. Special guest JBOT from Captured
by
Robots. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night. Bye.